We got a couple topics today.
Because I already ordered Terminus. I have some AEW takes if we need them.
What are the takes?
That they desperately need John Moxley and
someone. I think you got that take online. Well, I'm bringing up that Moxley's returning for Hammerstein versus Homicide, so I think that take can be included.
This was the first week that I just sat there and I was like, I really miss Kenny and Moxley.
I get that. I can get that. I can get behind that. My light does not want to stay on its freaking.
To be fair, I also very much miss Danielson after just him being gone for 1 week. I was like, my favorite part of the show isn't here. This sucks.
Yeah.
But that I can live through. There you go. Retweet.
Yeah, we'll be talking about MLW, Wrestling Observer Hall of Fame, Moxley,
Time up.
Yeah.
Did you say MLW?
Well, yeah, because they got big news this week.
Oh, yeah, they did. That's fair.
They got in the news cycle this week.
Yeah, people actually said they have a chance, and I was like, I don't know. They see WWE somehow never loses this. Oh, you sent me these things. I probably should have read them. I never touched Slack again. I said, okay, I'm going to go watch the match. Then I left.
I figured as much.
WWE hates blood again. Nice.
I'll get this tweet out.
Why Jay Lethal?
That's a great question. In general, why did Jay Lethal? You ready to do the show?
I guess.
Don't get too excited.
Shit. Press the wrong button.
Here we go. 3, 2, 1. Everybody, and welcome to Ring Post Radio, the only show that comes at you on 9 in the morning, not 9:30 in the morning, coming at you live. Welcome everybody to Ring Post Radio. We're bringing the boom.
Jesus, my God.
Sorry, I was doing a disc jockey gimmick.
See, what I was ready for was like the Adam Cole boom. Any other boom? Nope, you just gave an explosion.
Yeah. Well, it's been an explosion of a week. Has it? I don't know.
I don't think it really has. I think it's pretty boring wrestling week.
Yeah, I feel like everyone is still coming down off the high that has been like the first week of the new year with Wrestle Kingdom and WWE and AEW and.
You don't have to give credit to WWE on that one.
They had a pay-per-view. They had a pay-per-view.
They did, but that's not their January pay-per-view that anyone cares about. So
I feel like I'm in the dark. I feel like I'm in a cave right now. Are you looking at the stream?
It looks fine.
I don't know. I feel like I'm super dark right now. I don't know why.
Sitting in the dark, a million miles away. Sorry.
No, I think the audience loves when Scotty sings.
I was told never to sing Rebel Heart again, That was the only one. That's the only song I ever got a complaint on. So
What?
to be fair, I didn't remember the words when I was singing it, so it was just me yelling. That's fair. It's not like when we're singing Kenny Omega's song. That's different.
Maybe that's what we do for the count out drive this upcoming spring. Is
just karaoke.
Yeah, we do karaoke. We do wrestling themed karaoke.
You don't get to ask me twice.
Well, thank you everybody for joining us. We live stream the show. If you're listening on Ring Post Radio, we appreciate it. You can follow us on Twitter at Ryan Neitzey, at Scott E Wrestling, at Countout Pod. That's the network that houses us. Ring Post Wrestling, Ring Post Radio, Ring Post Wrestling is something, I guess. That's the promotion we're going to start. Yeah, it's been a light week, but there's definitely some news that have come out this week that's definitely worth talking. But it's been a light week in terms of wrestling quality, I guess.
No one was released. That's the hot start to the week.
Yeah, well, yeah, that's at least no one that I remember. No one that I remember has been released. I don't remember. We also live stream the show on Twitch, YouTube, Facebook, and Twitter. And if you're watching live stream, if you're with us live today, we're going to be doing a little bit of a mailbag today. So if you have any questions, please leave it in the chat. Either leave it in the comments section on Twitter, or you can leave it in the chat on Twitch, Facebook, YouTube, wherever. We're going to answer any questions you have about like modern wrestling. You can ask questions about, I don't know, modern wrestling, karaoke wrestling.
They ask old wrestling, to be fair. Like,
well, I mean, they could. I don't know much. Do you know much about old wrestling?
Well, how old are we talking? Are we talking like, when I say old, I mean anything that's not going on currently. Anything
from last week or 2 weeks ago or prior. That is old wrestling.
That's old.
Yeah, no. I mean, I don't want to. I don't think I'll be able to answer any like Mid-South questions. That's what I mean when I say old wrestling.
I'd rather just cancel the podcast and do that. No offense.
Answer Mid-South questions.
Yeah. I don't want to. I know. I'm good. Don't we have to preview the big GCW show?
That's next week. We'll be doing that next week.
Oh, it's on Sunday?
Yeah, it's on Sunday. But this week, we're going to be talking the Wrestling Observer Hall of Fame. We got the results in. We got the MLW news. And we're going to review one of the matches from Noah Bumper Cromp, however we pronounce it.
Bumper Crop.
Yeah. I don't know why that's the name. Maybe it's some translation thing. I don't know. And also, we're going to be previewing Terminus, which will be happening tonight, making their big grand debut tonight. So very excited about Terminus.
Aren't you going?
I will be there live.
Wow. That's lucky. I'll be in my house, which honestly, after how cold it was here yesterday, we hit a whopping 2 degrees. I'm okay. I'll be okay staying home.
Yeah, there is the thing about Terminus that I'm concerned with. Not only is obviously there's COVID and all that jazz, but there is also Atlanta is going to be getting a little bit of a snowstorm today.
More like Snowlanta. Thank you. That is why you come here live, because you can't miss those moments when Ryan cuts them out.
Oh my god, Scotty. Well, let's get to the show. I'm done with this preamble from you.
Are you all about that boom?
I was gonna hit the thunder sound effect again. I decided against it. Let's talk about the news. Big news of today. Wrestling Observer Hall of Fame results have been announced. Scotty, from, of course, the Wrestling Observer, the most prestigious Hall of Fame. Eat your heart out, WWE. The results are in. Are you ready? Have you seen these results at all, Scotty?
I saw the main result.
The one that everyone's talking about, of course.
Yeah, the one that mattered to, people of our age, yes. No offense.
That's fair. Kazuchika Okada, the tag team of Los Brazos, Jim Crockett Jr., and Don Owen have all been entered into the Wrestling Observer Hall of Fame. They've all reached over that 60% margin of voting. There's that threshold there. Kazuchika Okada got 92%. Los Brazos 82%. Jim Crockett Jr. also 82%. And then Don Owen 61%. Don Owen just sneaking in there. So, but good on him. Any real takes? Do you have any real thoughts on any of these people? I'm very happy that Jim Crockett Jr. is in the Wrestling Observer Hall of Fame. He is obvious. I think he's been on the ballot for a couple years now. And I think, with his passing and everything, I think he's obviously definitely more than earned it. Los Brazos, I forget which wrestler of Los Brazos passed away. Was it? Yes, Brazo de Plata, Super Porky, and WWE. He was the one that passed away last year on July 26th. So I'm sure that he helped get that recognition. But Kazuchika Okada, of course, got the 92% overall vote. Not a blowaway. He's not getting the Kobayashi blowaway voting yet. There probably won't be another one like that forever. But if anyone's going to get that, maybe Okada. But obviously those were the people that got in. Do you have any thoughts on anybody?
Was Kobayashi active when he got in?
I can look that up. I don't believe so. Maybe. No, he might have been. He might have been.
But how, what age was he? Was he near the end of his career?
Probably. I'll look into it.
Okay. Well, anyways, I'll talk about Mr. Kazuchika Okada. When I saw he was on the ballot for the first time, in my eyes, I said, okay, well, if there's a definition of first ballot Hall of Famer in professional wrestling, it's Kazuchika Okada. And I saw some people, well, he's active. We don't know what his career will be. And I said, listen, he stops wrestling right now. Right now. He is a first ballot, no question Hall of Famer. That's how you have to look at it, in my opinion. If he's going to stop everything and just stop wrestling, he is a first ballot Hall of Famer. He has the signature title reign to his name. He has a few of them, but he has the signature title reign to his name. He has countless signature matches. He has main events inside the Tokyo Dome. He has the rivalry with Tanahashi. He has literally everything you want in a first ballot Hall of Famer and then some. There was no one, I think, in my opinion at least, that was going to enter the ballot in the next couple of years and be slam dunk first ballot walk-in like Kazuchika Okada. Now, there are a lot of names that didn't get in yet that I think will eventually get in.
We'll get to that too.
Right. But Okada, to me, was the name I was watching this entire time because I did see some people say, well, he's still active. I was like, yes, but who cares? That shouldn't matter. He's amazing. He is one of the best wrestlers of all time, easily, and we get to watch him. So enjoy what we get.
Kenta Kobayashi, he was entered in 2002, right as he was getting into Noah. It was around his knee issues in Noah that as he first started, but he was able, turned around, obviously.
How? Okay. I'll let you talk. Let me just check something.
Sure. I think, obviously, like you said, Okada's a first ballot Hall of Famer. Every time like someone like an Okada or Omega a couple of years ago gets into the Wrestling Observer Hall of Fame, there's always the questions of,
by the way,
oh, that's awesome. There's always questions about, they're still active. They're in the prime of their career. And I get that. I mean, I think maybe bumping it up a couple years, bumping the age up a couple years is not a terrible idea for the ballots. However, I also don't think, I also think personally for Okada, well, I don't know. He's kind of revitalized a little bit. But I don't know. He's an easy first ballot Hall of Famer. Los Brazos have also been huge in the Mexican scene. Jim Crockett Jr., you can't talk enough about his fucking the importance of Crockett in the wrestling world. I mean, and he also passed away, I believe, last year. His importance. I don't know much about Don Owen. He was a promoter in the Portland area, in the Pacific Northwest. So I don't know much about him. By the 1980s, professional wrestling had seen a revival on behalf of WWF. But then he got okay. So I don't know much about Don Owen, but he sneaked in there. But no, yeah, I think it's it's always good. You want the best of the best in here. Not everyone's gonna make it. It's a ballot that still has people on it that are probably gonna make it at some point. Here's a list of candidates who had a majority of the vote but did not cross the 60% threshold. Again, 60% is what you need to get into the Hall of Fame. That list here is Mystico / Caristico, Sergeant Slaughter, Rollerball, Mark Rocco. Can't even say names today. Bobby Davis, Kota Ibushi, and Enrique Torres. It's interesting to me that Kota Ibushi didn't get in here, but I imagine because of the past year, that probably put a damper on some people. I'm guessing, just on voters in general. But yeah, so they're still on the ballot, so they'll obviously still be in the other people that were on the ballot that didn't make it. The Steiner brothers, Ishii, Naito, CM Punk, Jim Johnston, Edge, Randy Orton, Tony Schiavone, and Matt and Jeff Hardy. They are still all on the ballot for next year's and maybe years to come. So maybe they'll eventually make the Hall of Fame, but not yet.
I think CM Punk and the Hardys are very interesting long term.
CM Punk getting 33% of the vote is very interesting to me.
I think he has. Oh, now this could be some bias, I won't lie, but he really helped change. He helped change wrestling in the United States, the way people look at it. I think just through his WWE run. Now, did he change it as much as someone like Bryan Danielson? I don't know. Without CM Punk, does Daniel Bryan happen?
Yeah. I would.
You think so?
I think so. I
don't know.
I think Daniel Bryan was already happening before CM Punk, really got his start. And I get that idea. But you're talking about the WrestleMania moment.
Does that all happen without CM Punk? Because CM Punk gave them someone to believe in that indie situation. And the Hardys, I guess the Hardys, are they in? Can they go as a tag team or singles?
They are going in. They're nominated as a tag team.
Okay, so they have a way better shot making it in that way than the other. That'll be an interesting watch too, I think.
Yeah. I don't CM Punk, I think obviously the biggest concern about him, whether or not he gets in, is because of he's been out of action for 7 years. I think it's really what will determine whether or not he goes into the Hall of Fame is these next couple years of AEW. I also want to point out that Naito got 38% of the vote. He'll
get in.
I mean, 38%, that's super low for Naito. I would have expected maybe he would have gotten higher, but I don't know.
It would have hit 50, honestly.
I would have thought that Naito would have gotten higher than Ibushi.
Me too.
Yeah, Ibushi got 50.
Good point.
Ibushi got 54% of the vote. Naito got 38% of the vote. I would have totally thought that. Yeah. But yeah, so congratulations to those people. People that are off the ballot. Let's talk about people that are off the ballot that they can only rejoin if Dave Meltzer feels like they've warrant a re-inclusion. Typically typically what warrants re-inclusion for these people is either they pass away or they have a phenomenal year or a couple of years, and Dave's like, okay, maybe we need to reconsider. So these are people that are off the ballot that may or may not ever. They have a way tougher journey to get back onto the ballot and get in. The Hollywood Blondes of Buddy Roberts and Jerry Brown, Buddy Colt, the Fabulous Ones, Stan Land and Steve Kern, Nikki Bella, Charlotte Flair, Kamala, Rick Martel, John Moxley, Seth Rollins, Ultimate Warrior, Kyoko Inoue, Katsuya Shibata, Takeshi Segura, Psycho Clown, John Da Silva, Roger Delaporte, and Andre Bollet, to Kadani. I'll say Kadani, and Stephanie McMahon. Additionally, Mr. Wrestling 2, Johnny Walker, who he didn't have less than 10%, but he's been on the ballot for 15 years. didn't get a vote of at least 50%, so he's off the ballot. So quite the list of off the ballot. Any names that strike you as that you would have thought could have been Hall of Fame worthy people, but are now gone forever?
Seth and Mox are very interesting, I think, because like if you put them together as the Shield with Roman, makes you think a little more. Like I understand as singles competitors they're not getting in.
Oh, you're saying that like maybe if the Shield goes in as a faction?
Yeah. Like if they go in as the Shield, I think it's very different. And I'm sitting here and thinking how absurd it is that like I feel like these two haven't finished at all coming close to telling their careers.
Yeah.
That's why I think the age thing probably should change to like 40. I think 40 is a good like mark of like, okay, you've probably completed the majority of your career. It's very interesting that they're off the ballot, in my opinion. I don't think they would be Hall of Famers right now. Like, well, I'm going to say that.
Yeah.
But I don't know, maybe towards the end if they went or not were nominated as the Shield, and then you look at their accomplishments, because it kind of goes back to the Hardys thing. If you're looking at the singles careers of just Matt Hardy and Jeff, you're like, no. Well, Jeff is a little different. Like he has more hope than Matt, but you look at them more as a team.
Yeah.
Right now, if I was voting for Seth and John and Moxley, I wouldn't vote them in.
No, me neither.
But I think it's still so early. You just don't really know. I mean, as a group, they're going to have at least 20 world titles to their name. They had a reign that was very important to WWE success. But at the same time, this is a very, very special Hall of Fame in terms of who gets in. So I can understand why we are sitting here. And I just think they shouldn't be off the ballot. If that makes sense. It's weird to me.
I like the idea of including them as Shield, and obviously that's not going to happen for a number of years.
Right.
I mean, the Shield definitely like drew, as I recall, definitely very popular, and they were good for the not only business of wrestling but also had really good matches. I don't know if I don't think, but they're not like a standout. Like I don't know necessarily if they exceed the limits.
Yeah, right.
We're talking Okada levels. We're talking, Crockett. We're talking those sort of levels. Like I don't know if they could get to that point. Speaking of the Shield, though, for next year's ballot, obviously we have all the people named before: Mystico, Ibushi, Punk, Orton, Edge, yada yada yada. But it is interesting though that we are getting more and more of those. It feels like we get more. It feels like every year we get like WWE people, but it feels like more and more we get WWE people in this ballot. That just like modern WWE people, and you're just like, I don't know. Additions to next year's ballot: Rocco and Perez, Steamboat and Youngblood, Kawada and Tao, Jerry and Jack Briscoe, Roy Welch. And then I think these are the big names, talking points here for next year's ballot, Scotty. Roman Reigns.
Oh, Jesus, that poor guy.
I don't know. I think it's amazing.
He has a very interesting conversation. Like, that's a very interesting conversation.
Yeah. I think a maybe. I think a maybe. I don't,
he should not fall off the ballot next year. That's my opinion.
No, I don't think he'll fall off the ballot. I think he'll stay at the very least, but I think he'll get over 10% easily. But to me it's like a 60%, maybe.
He's gonna have to fight for that
60%. Becky Lynch. I don't think.
Yeah, Dave was just making a great point on Observer Radio about her historical significance. Actually, he was kind of giving back up to her because she's the first ever face of the company for WWE as a woman's wrestler.
That's true. She's definitely got plenty of historical significance. But
she's an interesting one, but it's not a long-term thing.
Yeah, but her historical significance is really like the past 2-3 years.
Right.
Like she's been wrestling for over a decade, and it's just sort of like the past couple of years is that past couple of years Hall of Fame worthy enough? That's
she'll stick on the ballot.
Shingo Takagi. Shingo's an interesting one
first
too.
Ballot.
He's not a first ballot Hall of Famer, surely.
No. He's a great professional wrestler.
He's a great professional wrestler. He's definitely. I mean, it's tough to I would have to look at like Dragon Gate to see his drawing power, because it's tough to say that for New Japan right now because of COVID. COVID is going to play a lot into these things, because it's just like, how do I take into account Shingo's drawing power when as the world champion of the top promotion in Japan?
Yeah, he was the world champion of a New Japan that was considered their coldest. So
yeah, so
was that his fault? Not at all.
Yeah,
but that is the truth.
Yeah, that is the truth. And also Rossi Ogawa is also on the ballot for next year. I want to get your take on that too. Do you have any thoughts?
Rossi's very interesting because he booked AJW back in the day, I believe, too. He did some booking for them. So it's not just Stardom. Like, I think a lot of people forget that he did a lot before Stardom. He's definitely someone that, if you look back on 5 years down the road and say Stardom is now huge, you're like, oh, well, he really helped re-elevate Joshi wrestling in Japan. Like that's the way you can look at it. So he'll definitely, I think, be someone that you come back to. He won't go in, right off the bat, but he will be someone to talk about as Stardom grows, because I do think that his goals and what he's done in Stardom already definitely warrant consideration in what he did prior to Stardom. But his place really depends on where Stardom is in 5 years. If they flop, he's not in. But if they boom,
there's the argument of like, Stardom has gotten to the point it's gotten in 10 years. I would, maybe a slow crawl, right? But in the Japanese market, especially for Joshi wrestling, which kind of, obviously, diminished quite a bit. They've kind of brought it back, and now they're stretching into American soil, and they're making big moves with Bushi Road and all that jazz. And again, I don't think first ballot Hall of Famer, but I don't think a guy that's getting trimmed off the slot there.
No, there should be he should stay around for a couple of years as we wait and see, I think.
Yeah, I kind of agree. I want to see more. But yeah, Wrestling Observer Hall of Fame. Okada getting the big one.
Fun topic. Good for Okada. Yeah, that old chap.
That old chap.
Put in the work for that one, which he did. He
obviously put in the work for that one.
Of first ballot.
Other news: MLW suing WWE. This came out of a big out of nowhere surprise. For the wrestling world, I think you could say. Before I get into it, do you have any quick thoughts on it, Scotty?
I didn't read a single thing. I just know that MLW wanted to go to Tubi, and WWE said no. That's essentially they went to NBC or whoever and were like, yeah, let's not do this, and they didn't do it. And I understand there's complaints here, yada yada yada. I don't. I don't. It's bad. Like I don't care.
What do you mean? What do you mean?
Like I don't care about the sadness of MLW. This is a very much WWE thing. This is something they've probably done endlessly to a number of promotions. And I understand like you're willing to go to battle because you stopped us from a contract and distribution. Okay, join the club of like 50 other promotions that probably also got stopped multiple times. Like
Yeah.
This is just one that we know about, and going to court with WWE sounds like a walking headache. So good luck.
As described in the complaint, WWE pressured third parties to abandon contracts and prospective relationships with MLW. WWE's misconduct included disrupting every level of MLW's business, including a major streaming deal with Tubi that we know of for MLW, which would have been transformative for the company. This is, of course, coming from MLW's press release about this. MLW also alleged in the complaint that in early 2021, after MLW announced that it was in talks with Vice TV to air MLW programs on Vice, a then WWE executive, now revealed to be Susan Levinson, once because the antitrust lawsuit came to light, I guess people actually see it. Susan Levinson, she was a former senior vice president and head of WWE Studios up until late March 2019, when she was up until May of 2021 when WWE just released a bunch of people from the corporate office. So she was that person. Susan Levinson warned Vice TV that WWE owner Vince McMahon was, quote, pissed that Vice TV was airing MLW programs and that Vice should stop working with MLW. The Vice TV executive responded that WWE's conduct was illegal and an antitrust violation, with the WWE executive responding that she could not control Vince McMahon. Again, that is, Susan Levinson was revealed to be the person, the senior vice president.
One, don't give Vince any ideas. Two, what did they say? Groundbreaking? Is that what they said? Transformative. I will keep my mouth shut on that one.
I think. Well, to be fair, very nice. I mean, you can't deny that for the business of MLW, if they were able to have a weekly show on Vice and a streaming deal with Tubi, that would have been huge for the company.
But they don't even have a weekly show on Vice.
What?
Their show's still not weekly on Vice.
No, they are alleging that WWE stepped in, and that is the reason why they don't have the TV show on Vice.
I see. Well, this is a fair complaint by MLW. I'll give them that. This is all very fair. That being said, who watches TV on Tubi?
I believe all of Lucha Underground is on Tubi.
Yeah, I understand that, but do you go out of your way to watch Lucha Underground on Tubi? Lucha Underground is probably 100% better than MLW television. Do you watch Lucha Underground on Tubi?
I was, and then Speaking Out started, and I just couldn't watch it anymore because Joey Ryan was there prominently. Well, there's other aspects to this that are interesting to me. The reason I'm bringing this up, Tubi, is
or not to be.
To be or not to be is the headline that should have been for MLW. They, as I understand it, are a Fox-owned business. And the argument there, argument there is that Fox runs SmackDown, so it would be they shouldn't have it on their thing, and that's why WWE stepped in. The other interesting thing is that this doesn't seem like a throwaway sort of bit, because the lawyers that they had. Let me see if I can find the actual lawyer name. The lawyer is the former lawyer of like Donald Trump like who stopped being a lawyer in 2017.
Oh yeah.
Like this is like a legit dude. I can't find the lawyer's name. I can't find the lawyer's name at this time. But yeah, it's like a legit dude. It's a legit lawsuit for antitrust. I think there is certainly the argument, but I think, the fact that Tubi is a Fox-owned company and that they were interested, and then Vice is not owned by Fox, as I understand it. WWE definitely stepped in. They have the name. They have the people involved. They have a great lawyer. I don't know. And also, I think the argument there that people are also having is what kind of money does MLW have to do this lawsuit? And so then the conversation is either MLW does have the money, which is weird, or they don't have the money, and the lawyers are, I forget what the proper term is, but basically doing this for cheap on the front end, pretty confident that they're going to win it and get all the money on the back end, which is also a huge thing. If those kind of lawyers are like, we think we're going to win.
Right. MLW definitely has a tremendous case. I think more so on Tubi than anything else. The Tubi like accusations of having Fox say no, like that's definitely what I'm listening to and being like, okay, well, there's definitely a case here, because one, I mean, really, truthfully, would MLW going to Tubi really have any effect on WWE? No, it wouldn't. It would not. It's not like someone's gonna watch MLW on Tubi and be like, you know what, this should replace SmackDown on Fox. That's not gonna happen.
Well, yeah.
Like, I think this was just WWE doing what they do, which is, no other pro wrestling, except we're not pro wrestling, but also no other pro wrestling. And good for MLW for, sticking up for themselves. Truth, like, that's really how I feel about all this. Like, good for them. They're not just gonna go and sit down. But if they don't have the money for this, then they are not going to win this, because unless, like you said, they have the confidence that they're going to kind of pretty much just walk in and walk out with whatever they earn. And
with these kind of lawsuits, you're definitely like throwing all the spaghetti at the wall and seeing what sticks. They're going to include every single issue that they have. Going back to the Vice TV deal, another point of contention could be that if they were going to go on Vice, they were going to air on Tuesdays, which would have been competition with NXT. Which I don't think MLW was going to eat into NXT that much. But we saw what they thought about AEW, what WWE thought about AEW. Then AEW smoked their ass. So I'm sure WWE was like, we're not doing that again with MLW, and they weren't gonna take their chances. I don't know. I think it's definitely an interesting conversation. There's definitely a lot of points in there that's like way more legitimate than just a like kind of throwaway suit. I know we're not lawyers or anything, but
they're just gonna settle.
Yeah, I mean, it's WWE. They got the money. I wouldn't be surprised if they. I mean, because best case scenario, you win. The worst case scenario is you settle and get a bunch of money.
Yeah, they're just gonna give them a quarter of their blood money and call it a day.
Speaking of blood money,
you're welcome.
Thank you for that transition. WWE put out a statement. Also, I believe yesterday they put out a statement.
I paid more attention to this than anything else this week.
Let's see. Let's get the actual quote here. The WWE statement. If you look at the gory self-mutilation that bloodied several women in the December 31st event on TNT, it quickly becomes clear that these are very different businesses. Of course, this is WWE talking about AEW's Rampage show between Penelope Ford and the Bunny versus Ty Conti and Anna Jay on New Year's Eve. This is WWE still talking. We had an edgier product in the Attitude Era, and in a 2022 world, we don't believe that type of dangerous and brutal display is appealing to network partners, sponsors, venues, children, or the general public as a whole? Scotty, what's your thoughts?
Gory self-mutilation is the next name for the Elimination Chamber in AEW.
They do their version of Elimination Chamber.
Yeah, it's going to be gory self-mutilation. It's going to be great. My thoughts are that WWE says these things to back any sponsors away, to back anyone, because if you put it out there, someone's going to read it of notability. And
someone's going to be like, yeah.
and let's be honest here, it's probably worked. It's probably worked with sponsors. It's probably worked with some companies, but it's not going to be something that hurts AEW long term. It's not going to be something that really changes the way they continue to rise in the pro wrestling ranks. But it is, I think a lot of people don't fully understand that, like, for advertising and sponsorships, this does have some effect. Not a lot, but some, enough.
Yeah.
And you'll never hear about the effect it has, because you're not going to hear about, like, name random company here doesn't partner with AEW. You're never going to hear that.
Yeah.
We're never going to hear that.
Mars bars.
Right. And TNT's not going to drop them, TBS, whatever, to Warner Media
and
as
TNT,
a whole.
I guess.
Yeah. So that's not going to happen. So it's not really something that affects any of us. It gives everyone a good laugh because they got to dunk on WWE for, all the outside stuff that they do blood-wise and whatnot. And I know some people were tossing around the Brock Lesnar, Randy Orton thing, which I completely forgot even happened in that match. And I was like, what? I don't think that was the point. I think the point was like, oh, well, we're different. And I don't even remember how many years ago that was now. But
2016.
Okay, so very far. Okay,
that's a while ago. That's a while ago.
Yeah, it's 6 years this coming August. But I think I understand why WWE does it. I understand why people get upset about it, besides just loving AEW. But to me, this is much more of a non-story than what we just talked about. It's not like AEW is going to sue them for saying, oh, I can't believe you guys said we have blood on TV. Like, who cares?
My take on it's 100% like a pearl clutching moment from WWE being like, ooh, my stars, how dare they ruin the reputation of the classic sport of professional wrestling. They've said this before. That's how we got Blood and Guts. Vince McMahon, the quote of Blood and Guts is a Vince McMahon quote on a quarterly conference call from WWE. Like, who cares? And also, we know it's a different product. Your product is rated PG. Their product, oh my god,
oh my goodness gracious,
terrified me. This light, I got one of these god dang lights, ring lights for Christmas. So I've been using it. This clamp does not stay on whatsoever. Does not properly clamp. And I don't know what to do about it, and it sucks. So I guess I'm just gonna I'm just gonna turn it off. Here we go. We'll just live on the fly, and we'll do that. Underglow. This is Ring Post Radio Nights, baby. We're telling horror stories. Anyways, what was I saying? I was on the start of a great bit. Dang it. Vince McMahon. It was a Vince McMahon quote that said "blood and guts," right? It's a wholly different product. We already know that. And I'm pretty sure sponsors know that, right? I mean, Vince McMahon said that a couple of years ago, I believe 2020, 2021. And then they made Blood and Guts. So they know it. WWE is a PG product. AW is a TV-14 product. If you're a sponsor, you're going to look at that TV-14 product and be like, oh, do I want my brand associated with that? A TV-14 product includes blood. Yes. Do I think that match was planned to be as bloody as it was? No, I don't think so. I think Vince McMahon, or whoever this WWE statement's coming from, is 100% insinuating about the bunny, because I don't think that amount of blood was properly meant to happen. But it comes with the territory of a TV-14 promotion. If a network partner wants, obviously TNT and Warner Media are okay with it. They gave them way more money. to do this sort of thing, to move to TBS and do all this stuff. They're obviously okay with it. If they weren't okay with it after the Dustin thing, which is where Blood and Guts came up, then I don't think they would be okay with it now. But they're still okay with it. Sponsors. If you want to sponsor a TV14 show, they would just do it. They know it. They know it's a TV14 show for the past 2 years. Venues. They're getting venues. Venues can easily not say something, but it's not going to be like every venue under the sun is going to be like, no, that just seems like a dumb thing. Children, let's talk about children or the general public as a whole, because I think that topic is great. And I saw this all over, and that's, I think, the comment that fans are dunking on WWE about, right? It's what do WWE know that the general public like? You know, the ratings for WWE are falling rapidly. AEWs are, I would say the AEWs are stalling as of late, but they've been growing. Their promotion has been growing for the past 2 years. They are a viable challenger. And less so nowadays because, like I said, there's kind of stalling. But WWE is also rapidly declining. So I don't know. I wouldn't say rapidly declining. They're declining.
They're declining at a solid pace.
Yeah. I don't know what they know as what children or the general public as a whole know. If you want to argue that what do WWE know? What do the WWE believe the children or the general public want to see? The answer is NXT 2.0. Right? That is what they think children want to see. That is what they think the general public as a whole, the teen demographic, want to see. And their age demo is in the 60s. Their age demo, Scotty, is older, typically.
Oh, it's bad.
Than WWE main roster shows.
Yeah.
They sure, yes. One could say that Blood is not going to draw this sort of crowd. But it obviously does. You know, you got the female wrestling match that's going to draw in the men, and you got the blood death match style that's also going to draw in men. It's a double down, and a double down always works, in my opinion. So I don't know where WWE is coming from, but like you said, it's another point to try to convince people to not watch their show and they have the mortal high ground, but I don't think it's gonna work.
This is just a personal thing, has nothing to do with WWE. AEW does Blade way too much.
Oh, I totally agree on that point.
We have entered an excessive, did we need that in this match? No, we didn't. And that comes from the top, King Cody, and it goes down to, I mean, I understand you can Blade if there's reason to do it, like if it needs to be added to the match, but like we've had it in some matches that I'm just like, really?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Like, what are we doing here?
It feels like the amount of blading in AEW is a response to not being able to do it for the past several decades.
Yeah, I mean, we've had a Crimson Mask per year situation, haven't we?
Yes.
For AEW, like we've had an absolute 2 in last year. Because you had the Dustin one. You had the Brit one. 2. You had the
Bunny.
Alley one, whatever. Yeah.
Which would have been.
You had Danielson and Page.
Oh my God, you're right. We've had a lot.
I'm pretty sure Cody tried to have one. Probably. At least one time.
Yeah.
But there's been a lot.
But those are the images that stick in my head. None of Cody's blade jobs have stuck in my head, I think.
No, but they give me a good laugh.
I think the only Cody blade job image I have in my head is at All In when he won the NWA title.
What an unnecessary match to bleed for. Like, yeah, they just need to, like, I don't care about blood. I think blood does add to the match. But some matches I'm like, really? I don't know about that. I don't know about that one.
Speaking about blood in match, Moxley is returning to professional wrestling. He's GCW has announced that he will be taking on and defending the GCW world title at the Hammerstein Ballroom next week versus Homicide. So we have Jon Moxley finally returning to professional wrestling. Scotty has seemingly left the call, or I think you still hear him on Twitch. He is now just a nameplate. Sorry, folks, but Scotty left. I don't know what to do here. I can hear him. I can hear him making noise. He's back.
Oh,
hello. What's up?
sorry.
I thought
I had to go let my dog out.
Oh, okay. I thought you were about to do a bit, and I was very excited.
No, I forgot to mute. I meant to mute too. No bit. What were we talking about?
Jon Moxley returning to Hammerstein. Officially, Jon Moxley returning. I'm very happy to see him return. Two, I think it's weird that GCW announced it and not AEW. He didn't come back for an AEW thing. It's GCW. I think
it's weird. Very smart.
Why is that?
Actually, I think it makes more people want to check out GCW. That's good for them. But I think it's going to make people want to watch AEW a little bit more. Mm-hmm. If anything, it's going to give them a little bump. It's going to give people in the arena a little more enthusiasm, a little more excitement, because now we're at a point where Jon Moxley is going to show up at any minute in AEW. He's coming back to GCW. He's probably coming back at any minute in AEW, and that's very exciting. Like that's awesome. Because
Beach Break is around the corner in Ohio.
Yeah, and I was gonna have this point later in the show, but AEW is missing Jon Moxley. Like, he adds so much to their show, so much to their feel. And don't get me wrong, they have a lot of great wrestlers on their roster. Best roster potentially in the world for the men's side, at least, when it comes to top to bottom. They just have great tag teams, great single stars, great main event stars, just these guys that are top tier. We have CM Punk, Bryan Danielson, but I've really been missing the Mox and the Omega of sorts the past couple weeks. I think those two were really the center point or centerpieces of AEW pretty much since day one when it comes to their events. Now there's the Elite, of course, but Moxley and Omega were the two core main eventers along with Jericho. Mm-hmm. And now I want Jericho to get off my screen, and I want those two to come back to my screen. Yeah. So I think it works both ways. I think it's going to add excitement for the next coming couple of weeks of AEW. Maybe he comes back and helps Eddie Kingston. Maybe he does something completely different. Maybe I don't know, attacks Bryan Danielson. Maybe that's the next feud they go with.
Maybe Johnny Gargano makes his debut and then Jon Moxley beats him up.
I don't think Jon Moxley is going to be a heel no matter what.
Yeah,
he can't be right now. I know that was probably the direction they were going, but I think you wait a little longer.
Yeah, no, I agree. I think at this point you kind of have to do that. Well, maybe there's an argument. Hold on. I'm formulating this thought as I'm thinking it.
Well, devil's advocate here.
Devil's advocate. What if? Because here's the thing that always was weird to me was why is GCW allowed this announcement, right?
Yeah.
That feels weird. Why would GCW be allowed to announce Jon Moxley's return? What if
he is their world champion?
He is their world champion, so that helps. It's Hammerstein, it's the main event. They kind of have to start advertising the main event and the matches on the show. But what if? So my thought is, why would AEW allow that? And my cap says, what if AEW is allowing that because they want to turn Moxley heel? So if Moxley's return at Hammerstein gets the big super pop that it is expecting to get, what if they just burn the pop at GCW, and that when he shows up on AEW, yeah, there's still going to be a pop, but maybe you can have him, you can lean into the turn more.
I don't want to be that guy, but there's a lot bigger AEW audience that has no idea what GCW is.
Correct. I agree.
So I don't think it affects it. I think it's a sense of, one, he's the world champion. Two, I like the idea that, he's going to come back, big baby face pop in the Hammerstein, crazy reaction, going to be awesome. Like Moxley in the Hammerstein is just a great thought right off the bat. But
real Sandman energy.
Yeah.
Well, maybe not. Maybe I shouldn't be saying that after coming back from where he's going. Delete that. Cut that.
I think Moxley's going to get a pop either way. If they want to turn him heel night one, they can. Mm-hmm. Very, very easily. He can get the pop and then he can attack. I mean, listen, on his first night, he attacked Kenny Omega. In the first night in AEW. Did that make him a heel in anyone's mind? No. He was just John Moxley.
Yeah.
And I think that's probably the way they can still go with him if they want.
You know who's the person they could probably easily turn him? Who's the only person they could turn him heel on?
Eddie Kingston.
Correct. Easily. They got boos from CM Punk.
I actually just wrote an article which comes out later today. The article is, should Eddie Kingston become AEW world champion, like down the line? Mm-hmm. And my major point was that, like, Eddie Kingston is the only person that got CM Punk legitimately booed. CM Punk got booed in Long Island with MJF, but that's just different. That's hometown. Eddie Kingston has this unique connection with fans, and it feels like it grows by the week.
Yeah.
That if John Moxley attacked Eddie Kingston, you set up that match for Revolution.
Yeah.
I mean, I think they want to do the Danielson match still on pay-per-view, because I think that's an understandable direction to go. But I like that idea better.
I think you can just do the Danielson match later. I don't think it has to be at like.
I think it should be pay-per-view though. I don't think you should be giving that away.
Yeah, I think you can honestly save the Danielson. Do Danielson with someone else and then do that.
We also don't know what's next for Danielson.
That's also true. There's a lot of ups in the air.
Oh, I like that idea though. Him turning on Eddie.
That's really the only way at this point you could do it. I think
right off the bat. Well, you could tag Hangman.
Yeah, but
if I watched that, I'd be like,
I don't think
you do that. The belt.
Yeah, I don't think you do that on Hangman.
Yeah.
Because the way you make, the good way is like, because you can justify a heel turn by attacking the champion because like, he's doing it because he wants to do the belt. Right. You make it personal by attacking your best friend kind of person, right?
Yeah, your best friend / the guy that everyone cheers for over pretty much every name in the company.
Yeah. It's possible.
It'd be a great angle. It'd be a great angle. And Eddie would get a big match, which the problem is I think they want to do Eddie versus Jericho. And if Jericho's going to lose, then that's fine. Like if his goal is to give Eddie a big win, because we do have to discuss, Eddie doesn't get many big wins. He has a lot of big matches, but he's yet to get a big win. So it'll be interesting.
Yeah, I guess we'll see and find out what eventually happens.
Happy Mox is back, though.
Yes,
that's
very
number
happy.
one.
Very happy he's back. Very excited to see him return.
Wrestling has missed him.
How bushy do you think his beard is?
It's probably going to look exactly the same, honestly. He don't let it go too much.
I want him to come back full lumberjack. That'd lumberjack awesome. Beard.
I want his old song back.
Me too.
His AEW one. No offense to Wild Thing, but like if he goes heel, that theme song needs to come back.
Yeah. I preferred his other one over Wild Thing.
Me too.
Let's talk about independent wrestling. Speaking of independent wrestling, I'm only doing transitions this entire show. I hope you know that.
You try, usually anyways.
Speaking of independent wrestling, well, I should say that before we get to our main topics of the show. We're going to be doing a mailbag at the end of the episode. So if you have any questions, if you're listening to this live on Twitch, YouTube, Facebook, or Twitter, leave a comment below, and leave your question below, and we will answer it in a little bit. But first, let's talk about a new promotion that is starting tonight. I will be there live. It's Terminus. It feels like the internet has been really excited for this show. It's sold out. It is the debut show of the promotion, run by Jonathan Gresham and Baron Black, coming out of Atlanta, Georgia. Streaming on Fight. What else can I say? We have an 8-match card here. We also got a list of rules. Let's go over it, Scotty.
I'm excited. I actually ordered this show earlier in the week.
Oh, really?
I did. I'll be honest, people. I don't order every show that I watch, but we find means. A lot of good people out there that happen to buy shows and share their links. That's why, of course. But I order a lot of shows. I spend way too much money on wrestling. Let's be honest here. That being said, I feel like this was a must-order event, if that makes sense. There's a lot of good wrestlers on this card, a lot of good matches. Of course, as we said earlier, Ryan will be there in attendance. He will be able to give us some feedback on the atmosphere next week when we review it. He'll give us a whole different review, and I think that'll be really fun for us to talk about. Unlike day one, it's very different when you go to a more independent, closer setting. I think it really changes the way a show looks, and the card looks really good.
Yeah,
really good.
They are definitely they're doing their best to stamp their flag into the ground. I mean, I'll be honest, Atlanta has been starving for wrestling. Atlanta used to be the hub of one of the hubs of professional wrestling, and it does really feel like Terminus is trying, going back to the name Terminus, Terminus was what Atlanta used to be called because it was the terminal point of where all the railroad stations met. It feels like it is trying to go back to the roots of Atlanta, back to the roots of professional wrestling, do all these things at once. You're bringing in Dave Prazak and Lanny Leonard from former Ring of Honor days. So there's that. Got a bunch of Ring of Honor matches on the show as well. It definitely feels an important show to watch. It definitely feels like a big show to watch. And like I said, Atlanta has been starving. I talked about it. I don't know if I talked about it on the show, but what I was looking into when I did my preview of day one was that, or a written preview of day one, was that day one was at the State Farm Arena, and the last time a wrestling show was at the State Farm Arena was the AEW Cody Rhodes Wardlow Steel Cage match in 2019 or 2020, February of 2020 or something like that. Yeah. So it's been like 2 years, practically. And of course, AEW showed back up in the Georgia area, but that was Duluth, and that was like an hour and a half away. So I wasn't able to go. But like in independent wrestling, still, if you want to go see some sort of independent wrestling show, there's a couple Atlanta-based wrestling promotions, but they're not that big. They're pretty small. I mean, Action is probably the biggest one, and they're on IWTV. Still very good promotion, but they're still very small. This already has the feeling of it being bigger. The fact that you have the names of this show, the fact of who's running it, the fact that they're going on Fight and all this stuff, it feels like a big event. And so I'm very interested to see, and I'm really hoping that this promotion goes off well because I'm excited. My one concern about this promotion, about the show tonight, is that Atlanta's getting a snowstorm, which, it's the South, so it's not like we're prepped quite well, unlike you at Boston territory with snow.
Oh, yeah, we live and breathe for those.
As I speak, it is snowing outside. Right now, I can see right out my window, right behind my camera, that it is snowing outside. It's sticking to the grass. Obviously, it doesn't look like it's yet sticking to the driveway.
That's most important.
That's the most important part. But like I said, it's Atlanta. They knew the snowstorm was coming, so Atlanta proper was prepping with salt and everything. To get that ready. The bigger snowstorm is hitting just north of Atlanta. So this is Weatherman Ryan. I need a green screen behind me. So we're scheduled right here. You can see on this core front. Apparently it's like 2 to 4 inches last time I checked. So not too bad, but also like I said, it's the South, and we're not. I'm from Maryland. You're from Boston. 2 to 4 inches is like nothing, right?
Yeah, I was going to say 2 to 4 inches is like I'm happy. I'm celebrating that. That is like, yeah, no, that you got everything should be fine, but like you said, Atlantis, Georgia, not definitely accustomed to that. Hopefully it doesn't stick though. That's really all you need is just no stickage. Hopefully all goes fine. I mean, you're like you said, you're from Maryland, so it's not like snow is crazy to you.
But there's other
you're fine.
Yeah, I'll be fine. Doesn't mean the Atlanta drivers here will be fine and be able to handle it. So that's my one thing is I'm nervous about that.
But Terminus.
Let's talk about Terminus. We have 8 matches here, and we have a list of rules. What do you want to discuss first?
I think rules are important. And I think next week it'll be really interesting for you and me to discuss the difference between live and production, on Fight.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna, especially with the rules. I don't know if they're gonna give me a whole sheet and like a little scoreboard thing.
I hope I get a flyer that has the rules.
That would be smart by them, truthfully, because I mean, they have a lot of rules.
Yeah. They have a decent number of rules. I think for me, the most rules are standard. There's a couple of things that are fun, that are interesting to me. So I'm interested about it.
Right.
But yeah, well, let's talk about like there's some people that see the rules and are like, what? Can't believe it. Most of these rules are standard. So this is Terminus tweeted this out. All matches must be won by pin, submission, KO, or disqualification, unless substitute stipulation agreed upon by grapplers. Standard. Time limits strictly enforced. All matches are 15 minutes, excluding championship matches, which are 20 minutes. I like that. That means every match, is going to be not really a sprint, but you're not going to see like your 30-minute classics. You're going to see solid 15-minute matches. Unless, of course, they make it like a 30-minute Iron Man match, which is totally possible in this promotion, I think.
I would prefer it.
But I also think it applies to multi-men's. So we have that Eliminator 4-way match on the card, which to me is like, oh, that's interesting. That match apparently is going to be a 15-minute time limit. You have to eliminate all 3 of your opponents in 15 minutes or less. It
should be fun sprints, honestly.
Yeah. I think it's all going to be very fun sprints. The show is advertising, at least for a ticket seller, it is advertised as 6 to 9. So with 8 matches, 5 of which are 15 minutes, 3 of them are 20 minutes, and then entrances and stuff.
Yeah. I like that plan. Now, I know some people are like very hesitant on Terminus because of the other rules, not the time limit. Time limits did, like, who cares?
Well, can I bring up this before you get into that point? Can I bring up the overtime rule?
Oh yeah, I was just gonna say, like, the one thing on the time thing is, to me, time doesn't define a great match. It's what they do in the time that defines a great match.
I agree. The overtime is that if there is no decision at the end of the time limit, a 90-second overtime period occurs. And then if no one wins then it becomes a draw. 90 seconds sprint to get a pinfall or a submission after 15/20 minutes.
You know Gresham's going to the 90-second sprint.
I cannot wait, man. There's 100%. There has to be one of the matches here that goes to a 90-second overtime. I don't know whose it will be, but I just think
feels very Gresham.
I think I could see it in like the Bandito Baron Black match.
I can definitely see that.
I can see it there. But I just think that's very interesting, and I cannot wait for that. Let's talk about the proper rules of the show that I think many people are interested about. And I agree. A lot. What I like about rules, Scotty, is not only do you have a very defined thing, but you also have the ways of people to break them.
What I like
right?
about rules.
I'm a big rules guy. I don't know if you can tell. I'm a big rules man. So there's disqualification criteria. You will be disqualified if you use a foreign object, or if there's outside interference. You can also get disqualified if you have 2 technical fouls. And now there's a list of technical fouls here. You ready? And these, of course, given at the referee's discretion. You can get a technical foul by throwing your opponent over the top rope, which I think is hilarious. So I can throw someone over the top rope, and if I do that twice, I lose the match. Which I guess makes sense. You're throwing the point of wrestling is you're trying to wrestle in the center. The ropes and everything are quote unquote out of bounds. So literally throwing your opponent out of bounds should be deemed as a foul, I think. And that's a very old school thing.
Hater of the Royal Rumble.
Yeah. 10-second top rope count, that's standard. 5 count rope break, corner break, that's standard. Intentional physical contact with referee, that's standard for like a casual disqualification. But I love the idea that if you hit the referee once, sock the referee in the jaw, that the referee will get back up and be like, "Nah, you're fine. That's your one." You got
if
one
I'm a
more.
heel, I'm absolutely drilling the ref as soon as the match starts.
Well, if I'm a heel, I'm going to be doing this.
We need evil in Terminus.
House of Torture, baby. Let's do it. If I'm a heel, I'm going to be doing this as soon as the bell rings. Intentional low blow. I can kick my opponent in the balls and not lose the match. Now, granted, I got 1 technical foul, so if I accidentally throw my opponent over the top rope, I'm screwed and I lose the match. But I can start the match kicking my opponent straight in the ball sack.
Alrighty.
There's also intentional eye gouge, fish hooking, hair pulling, spitting, very COVID safe. Closed fist punches to the face, obviously, as well. That's also standard.
This is just all heel stuff that the heel can work around. It's very easy.
Yeah, very easy. And this is all by referee's discretion. So as long as the referee sees it, that's
they're so gonna have a shit ref one time that just doesn't care or does care way too much, and it's gonna be hilarious.
Countouts, 5-second count out, not 10 seconds, not 20 seconds, 5 seconds. If you're out of the ring, you have 5 seconds to get back in the ring.
Yeah, it's all about being in the ring. That is what this promotion's about, and that's fine. That's what wrestling is all about. And in the end, it's about what happens between the ropes.
And that's the entire point. Modern age grappling is the subtitle of this promotion. The other one that I love it. I love when they did this for Ring of Honor. It never really happened. I would have loved if they actually did it at some point. Any weapon usage will not only result in immediate disqualification, Scotty, but you get expelled from Terminus, kicked out of the promotion. If you hit someone with a chair, you are expelled from the company.
Such a weird rule to put in a professional wrestling company.
I love it. I freaking love it, dude.
That seems very extra.
No, I love it. I don't want to see any of that nonsense. What is very intriguing to me, because this
Ryan is pure, ladies and gentlemen. He hates everything that has to do with cheating. No.
This is like what I like about this, and I'm intrigued about Terminus and how it's going to catch on, because this feels like a very not anti, that's not the word, but the opposite of GCW, right? Like the amount of rules, no weapon usage, it's just about the wrestling of the ropes. This feels very like, the opposite end of the spectrum to GCW. And so I'm very intrigued. I think this first show is going to draw a decent crowd. I think the second show is going to get a decent crowd of people that like are into the proper pure wrestling style, I guess.
Yeah.
So I'm very intrigued.
It should be an interesting show. I could see some people not liking it.
Yeah.
But I think as long as they do everything in their power to just deliver great professional wrestling, I can't imagine people walking out of it with anything but positive views.
I think there's gonna be a group of people that watch it that are like like I said, like GCW fans that are like wrestling, like people that like the sort of like hardcore style that are gonna be that will watch this and be like, this isn't for me. Because like I said, I think it's the opposite. It is the opposite
Right.
of that style completely.
Yeah.
I'm intrigued to how it goes. I do have my reservations and concerns. I mean, if if the pure style was a hit, then Ring of Honor would still be around right now. So these are my concerns, and GCW is obviously having a huge moment right now. So we'll see, right? We'll see.
Yeah, my concern is that my favorite matches involve a lot of strikes and a lot of just two wrestlers beating the piss out of each other, and I am definitely not expecting that a lot in the show. But I like pure matches too. That being said, I feel like I go into them with higher expectations and always walk out like, it was good. It was fine.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna go in this with an open mind though, because I have no idea what's about to happen.
Same.
And there's a lot of good matches, a lot of good talent on the show.
Let's get to the proper show. There, of course, is going to be a tip-off show hosted by Shug D and Faye Jackson. I don't think there's any matches that are happening there, but that should be interesting. I don't know what that's going to entail. It's going to be streaming on Fight. Let's talk about it. First match on Cage Match that's listed here is also incorrect because it changed earlier today. It is Janai Kai, not versus Liza Hall. I don't know who Liza Hall is. Apologies, but Liza Hall has been replaced because of not travel restrictions, but travel, I think in general. It's gonna be Janai Kai versus Diamante.
Yeah, I'm someone that has seen. I've seen a couple Janai Kai matches. She's very unique. Very much uses the kickboxing style in her matches. Diamante, as many also have seen, especially on AEW television or YouTube, to be more honest. But Diamante is very good. Janai Kai is someone that is climbing up the ranks. Should be a fun singles match.
I'm looking into Liza Hall a little bit. She is from Canada, so I wonder if that probably played
that could be a problem.
Aspect. She's 23-year-old, so sort of a breakout moment for her, maybe. But that sucks. I hate to see that happen. But Diamante Janai Kai should also be a good match. Diamante has a good wrestling style, solid enough. Janai Kai, very interesting. She's very young, from the DC area. I'm very intrigued to see what she can do now versus Diamante.
I think 2022 could be a big year for Janai Kai. She's starting to break out.
Yeah, I think this would be a good breakout moment for her here.
Yeah.
And whether or not she wins, I guess we'll find out. Next up, Impact Digital Media Championship match. That's right. Jordynne Grace will be putting that title on the line against Kiera Hogan. Jordynne Grace, obviously the Impact Digital Media Champion. What? Like kind of a tertiary title in the promotion?
I don't know. For some reason, it's their best looking title if you don't look at the digital media part on it.
Yeah.
This is interesting because when I think of these two, I don't think of Pure Rules. That's for sure. I think Jordynne Grace is pretty good. She's a very good power wrestler. She's very good at, she's a fan favorite. That helps too. She's had some good matches in Impact from what I remember. That being said, Kiera Hogan wrestling the pure style is not something I was expecting to talk about.
Well, I think that's
I think it should be good though.
I think that's my thing about the promotion is I think some people might expect like every match to be a pure style match, and I don't know how to feel.
I don't know how to feel.
I really don't, but I also don't think that it's going to be. I mean, you can, you have Bandito in a match. You have the ability to do all of the high flying stuff that you typically can do. You just can't punch someone in the face, which is already happening and already happens in wrestling, right? It slaps to the face. You can springboard off the ropes. There's no rule saying you can't do that. You just have
Right.
5 seconds, I guess, 10 seconds to do that.
Yeah.
You know, all that style is still there. It's just going to have a more focus in the ring style. It's like, it'd be like watching an independent wrestling show where, I mean, it's like watching an independent wrestling show where it's like the crowd is right next, like watching Beyond or something, right? Where the crowd is like right next to and like hitting the actual mat and everything. I think it's going to be something like that, where it's just like you kind of are forced to do all the stuff inside the ring.
Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah,
I mean, I expect this to be pretty good. They have good chemistry from their many tag title matches that they had in Impact over the past 2 years. And they've had good singles matches. So I'm expecting this to be pretty good.
yeah, I'm intrigued at the very least. I'm intrigued to see what will come out of this match. Next up, Terminal Eliminator 4-way match. So this is a 4-way dance
Sprint.
that is 15 minutes where you have to eliminate all of your opponents. The people in this match are Invictus Cash. He's been on AEW Dark. That's where most people see him. I think he's got a good look. I wait to see more of him, and maybe I'll see more of him. JDX, another independent wrestling standout that people enjoy. He's also been on AEW Dark. Adam Priest, he is like a Southern independent wrestler, very big. Adam Priest challenged Jonathan Gresham for the ROH title at one point recently.
Mm-hmm.
So he's a big Southern wrestler. And Daniel Garcia, AEW wrestler Daniel Garcia. Thoughts on this match?
I think this is going to be a lot of fun. I think if they can figure out how to fit everything they need to in the 15-minute stretch, it can be a lot of fun. Now, could it be a little bit messy because they're trying to? Maybe. I haven't seen a lot of 3 of these guys, but I'm thinking it should be a lot of fun. That's what these matches are made for, really. And I would be shocked if Garcia lost.
Yeah, me too. It is weird that Garcia's in this match not having a singles match, but I'm intrigued at the very least. It's a nice little, like, youth match of a lot of these guys. But also, I think that this match is 15 minutes. So how do we eliminate all these people in 15 minutes? I think we're going to get a big, like, this is the match that showcases the rules of the promotion.
Right.
Like, I think someone getting eliminated by getting 2 technical fouls or something. Someone's going to get eliminated by, I don't know, 5-second count out. Yeah, I think this is one of those matches where that's going to happen. And also it's also a 4-way, which are traditionally no disqualification, I guess. So maybe there's also an aspect there now that I think about it. I don't know. I'm intrigued to see how this goes. Maybe we'll get an explanation on the rules and see if it's slightly different. But 15 minutes and stays in the ring. Talk about a sprint. I'm very excited. I think it should be good. Daniel Garcia, I think, is also going to win. Maybe Adam Priest. I don't know. He's good. Singles match. The cage match lists this as a singles match, Scotty. But Terminus was advertising this as a Ring of Honor world title match. And that was Bandito defending the, I'll say, modern version of the Ring of Honor world title against Baron Black.
I'm excited for this. I'm very excited for this. I like the story that they're telling with the 2 Ring of Honor titles. It gives them a potential main event for their return show, which was announced this week, by the way. Like that, you can now buy tickets for it. So they're coming back. So the demise of Ring of Honor was not so much a demise, which is nice, but I think this should be really good. Baron Black, for those who haven't seen him, which you can on AW Dark. I think he's like 0-47 he posted this week.
Yeah.
He's quite good. He's quite good. And I think this will be a good showcase for him because I do think with some of the names on the show, like the Banditos and Greshams, that Baron Black has a real chance to benefit from this as well. And I mean, he's on AEW TV, so people are going to see him, but this will give him his best chance to show what he can do in the ring outside of the 5 minutes sprint on an AEW Dynamite. I think Bandito definitely wins, but I liked the promo that Baron Black had for like setting this match up. I thought that was really good.
Mm-hmm.
And he's the co-runner owner of this promotion. So
Yeah,
big match for him.
Yeah, I think obviously there's the aspect of like being the co-promoter of this promotion is is suspect a little bit, but and I don't know whether the future of this promotion is, but if there's any person to sort of build a promotion around, in my opinion, would honestly be Baron Black. Like him being like the guy for the promotion. I think he could be the guy of the promotion, honestly. He's the person that can eventually win the title if there is a title or whatever. He's very good. I saw him at Championship Wrestling from Atlanta in I forget, like some sort of gimmick match against Lord Crew. Very interesting name. It was outstanding. The best match in the entire show. Well, it wasn't a great, match of the year contender, mind you, but it was a really good match. Baron Black has something. Baron Black certainly has something. He has a great look too. He has a great entrance music. He's got something. And versus Bandito, I think this is going to be a showcase match for him. He's not going to win, especially if this is for the title. He's not going to win, but I think this is a very intriguing match, and I'm very excited to see. And also see Bandito return. I mean, we saw him return last night, I believe, just at GCW. So having him come back and wrestle some more matches, I'm very intrigued to see him. Yeah, just to confirm, he has not wrestled till last night against Blake Christian. So I am intrigued to see what is happening.
They went like 19 minutes, so...
Yeah, so I think this should be a good match. I think this should be a really good match. I think 100% we're going to get Bandito doing his like side thing where he like does a moonsault or picks up a guy on the top rope, does a moonsault with him. Easily.
I think this could be it's funny because the world title match, but I think this could be the show stealer.
Yeah.
Like I have a lot of high hopes for Baron Black, and like what this is kind of a big showcase for him.
Yeah, no, I agree. Like I said, I'm putting my flag there is that I think if there's anyone to build a promotion around, it could be Baron Black. Tag team match: Fred Yehi and Tracy Williams versus Dante Cabarello and Joe Keys. Cabarello and Keys are Ring of Honor dojo guys, trained by Gresham. And also, they've been tag teaming for a little bit, too, which is also nice. Tracy Williams, very good wrestler. Fred Yehi, I explained to Jesse who he was, and she immediately responded, is he called Yehi because he's yay high? And I said, yes.
This should be fun. I think tag match with all these rules and, Yehi and Tracy are very...
I love Fred Yehi. I don't think he's so underrated.
Yeah, I think he's been given a lot of big opportunities over the past year, especially. He's been in Strong, Ring of Honor, of course. He's kind of going everywhere now, and I think this will be another good showcase for him. Because I do think there's going to be a lot of eyes on this Terminus show. This is one of the more hyped indie shows, especially for a debut show. So I think if there's going to be a lot of eyes on Terminus for a show, it's this one. I definitely see them walking out. It's good for the ROH dojo guys that, they get a big shot here as well. I'm happy Gresham's looking out for his trainees.
I agree. I'm excited about that. I'm glad that a lot of this show has that sort of early ROH feel to it. It does feel like it is continuing that spirit of Ring of Honor. Maybe not the name, obviously, but it feels like it's continuing that spirit of Ring of Honor. And
Terminus of Honor. Yeah,
exactly right. There was no rule saying that you had to start or end every match with a handshake. So I don't know.
There is no honor.
There's no honor in this promotion. That we know. That much we know. Singles match. Moose versus, it was supposed to be Alex Coughlin, but I believe it was due to COVID issues. Coughlin is not going to be here.
So Coughlin's good.
Coughlin is good, but he's being replaced by Mike Bennett. So we got Moose versus Mike Bennett.
I learned this week that Mike Bennett sells Boston Strong style shirts, and I'm absolutely going to get one. Got absolutely hyped when I saw that. So thank you, Mike Bennett. This is definitely a match. No offense to Mike Bennett or Moose, but Alex Coughlin might be better than both of them already.
This match is the most match of the night.
Yeah, this is very like Impact, which is funny because they're both an Impact now.
Well, Moose is the Impact World Champion after all.
Yeah, I mean, why don't they just put the title on the line while they're doing it? Which I wouldn't be shocked if they switched it to that. I mean, it won't be bad.
No, I don't think so.
It won't be bad.
I don't think so. I hope not.
I'm not a big fan of Moose, but I have to give him credit. He's really improved as a wrestler. Yes. He's pretty capable, and Mike Bennett's not going to have a 5-star match, but he's not going to give you a bad match. So
yeah,
should be good watch.
But yeah, Mike Bennett is like you're like the there is no perfect journeyman than Mike Bennett. This guy's been everywhere, done everything. So he's easily going to bring Moose to a good match. Moose is going to be able to pick up with him. Moose and Impact World Champion, so Moose is probably gonna easily win, I think.
I'd be shocked if he lost.
Yeah, me too. I guess you could do kind of a storyline where Mike Bennett wins. I mean, that's something, I guess. But it's probably just gonna be Moose. Next up, singles match, Jay Lethal versus Lee Moriarty. This is an AEW showcase match. I believe when this match was originally picked, this always was an AEW showcase match. Jay Lethal, very solid wrestler. People have their reservations about him, obviously, which is fair, but you can't deny that he's still a very solid wrestler. Lee Moriarty, an outstanding young wrestler. Very excited about this match. I don't necessarily think it could maybe have match of the night feels around it, but we'll see. There's a couple matches here that I think could be easily match of the night.
I think this will definitely be good.
Yeah,
because Lee's advanced beyond his age.
I think Jay's a good opponent for him too.
It's a big spot for Lee. I'm happy he's on the show. He's very fitting of this style. I'm excited to see him. I have my thoughts about Jay Lethal. He's fresh off New Japan match from last night. He's back in New Japan too, so he's doing a little bit of everything.
He's flying from Seattle to Atlanta.
Yikes! But it definitely has match of the night potential.
Yeah, I think we can both agree on that. Do you have any idea? I think that's also the
Lethal
problem.
Wins, by the way.
Yeah, maybe. It's tough.
He definitely wins.
It's tough because it's the first show. You have no really idea of what kind of like stories there are or anything. You don't know who their guy is, right? So Jay Lethal's good, but if you want to build a promotion around Lee Moriarty, kind of.
I don't think they're building the promotion around an AEW signed wrestler.
True, but you could have a title match for the Terminus title or whatever, whereas like Lee Moriarty versus a guy, right? That's what I mean. Like it's hard to tell who they're going with, who they want to go with. So I'm intrigued to say the least.
I see Lethal winning. I don't see him giving a win to Lee Moriarty.
That's also fair. That's also a total possibility. Your main event as well. Ring of Honor world title match and presumed pure rules match. That's how Gresham's been doing it the entire time. Jonathan Gresham defending the Ring of Honor, the old school OG Ring of Honor title. Jonathan Gresham defending against Josh Alexander, a guy who had a underrated Wrestler of the Year contender, and I don't think anyone nominated him in the Count Year End Awards. Now that I think about it, but underrated Wrestler of the Year contender, Josh Alexander.
I sat here for 20 minutes trying to figure out who Josh Alexander was wrestling. I completely forgot the entire card, and I was like, I think Josh Alexander's on this show. Who's he wrestling? And I finally figured it out. before you said it, but I was like, huh, interesting. This should be really good. Like, this should be really good. Josh, like you said, Josh Alexander is someone that, despite the weird or upsetting finish to his 2-second Impact title reign, he has been booked really well, and he has become pretty much their main babyface, main star. He's awesome. He deserves all these big spots. And Jonathan Gresham, what's there to say about Jonathan Gresham? I know the Pure Rule style isn't for everyone. I still don't know if it's for me or not, but if I'm going to watch someone do it, I'm going to watch Jonathan Gresham do it. Yeah. And these two should have a really good match. If this isn't match of the night, I would be a little surprised just because of how good they both are. Of course, I expect Jonathan Gresham to win because duh, but should be really good.
Yeah, I agree. I think this match has all the potential in the world to be match of the night as well, like with any other match.
Definitely doing the 90 seconds, by the way.
I could totally see that. Yeah, Josh Alexander, outstanding wrestler. Very upsetting how Impact is treating him. But whatever.
This match doesn't happen if he's Impact World Champion, I bet.
Well, no, I can see this match still happening and then it going to the 92nd and then it ending up being a draw.
Yeah, that's true.
I can see that.
No one wants a draw to end the show, though.
True.
The first show.
No, but they would do a draw to end the show, and then Bandito would come out and they'll do a face-to-face with Gresham. And then that will get me hyped enough to be like, yeah. But yeah, Gresham Alexander has all the makings to be an outstanding match. It's Pure Rules, so there's always that quality that people kind of maybe turn some people off. But if it's going to turn you off, then I don't know if Terminus is going to be the promotion for you entirely. Right. I'm excited. To say the least of the show. Snow update. The driveway is covered in snow.
Uh-oh.
I can't.
How far are you from Terminus?
20-30 minutes.
Nah, you're fine. Just as long as people know how to plow, you're wait a minute.
I can't see the road from here. I don't know if the road
people own plows.
Maybe we got some down from Carolinas or something.
See, like we just have like normal people that have plows. Like that's how much snow we're ready for. So
yeah.
Good luck. Yeah. But it should be a really interesting show. It's definitely going to be talked about a lot. Definitely a really cool show for you to go to. First time ever event. It's something you can kind of remember if they blow up like they very much could. So happy for you, and I'm happy I get to watch it. And we will be, of course, reviewing it next week along with a lot. We got a lot next week, actually.
Yeah,
a Rumble preview.
We got a lot next. Hammerstein
preview.
Terminus review. I got very distracted because I just saw a Road to 16 Karat Gold announcement.
What is it?
You know how they have like Gresham and Oni Lorcan?
Yeah. Oh, I know. Yeah.
They've just announced Becca in the Limitless Wrestling, Beyond Wrestling star, dating Alec Price.
No, she's in the tournament?
Apparently, I don't know if she's in the tournament. She's at the show. I don't know, but she's announced for the show. I was like, wait, what? I saw that and I got very distracted. I was like, what? I'm sorry? I don't know.
Yeah, it just looks like, she's just having okay.
Yeah.
She's just having a match. Okay.
Yeah,
okay.
But I just got very distracted by that. I was like, wait, whoa, what? Maybe that means Alex Price will be there and in the tournament.
Oh, yeah, that could be it. I forgot about that happening.
Yeah.
Should
when
be
is
fun.
When is that? When is WXW?
It's a weird group of people in that show.
Yeah. When is the WXW?
Is it March? February, March?
I think it's Feb. I think it's a Feb.
That was my knuckles.
Feb maybe. March 4th, 5th, 6th, 3 nights. Yeah, no. So I'm very excited. I'm very intrigued to watch this show. I think it's going to be a historic event. Whether or not this promotion goes well or not, we'll see. But it has all the makings for it to go well and for it to be big in the Atlanta area. It's like pretty much smack dab in the heart of Atlanta too. It's like right midtown.
In the heart of Atlanta. That's not a song. I just felt like saying it.
It definitely was not a song. Let's move on.
How dare you?
Let's move on. Noah had a show this morning.
I could talk about the main event. That isn't.
Noah bumper Cromp.
Then we'll do questions and then we'll get the F out of here.
Yeah, you and I only watched the main event, the GHC heavyweight title match.
Well, I was only going to watch that and the tag title match.
Oh, yeah. Have you seen the tag title match yet?
No.
All right.
I did not have time to watch Keishi Muto, baby.
That's fair. Well, the main event, GHC heavyweight title match, Katsuhiko Nakajima against Masaki Miya. Nakajima retains. What are you doing?
I'm reenacting the Keishi Muto Shining Wizard.
Oh.
Did you watch any of the New Japan Noah?
I did. I watched it all last night.
Did you enjoy it? Some of it?
It was okay.
I mean, like the first half is like meh. I enjoyed the last two matches.
Yeah.
And the House of Torture match, actually, they did really good because they actually like did the part where someone actually fights House of Torture and takes them out.
Yeah, it wins. House of Torture match is only good if the other person wins and gets a definitive like screw you win, like Goshi.
Yeah, I thought Masa and Go were really good in that.
But anyways, bumper Cromp. Bumper.
You just like saying it.
I love saying.
Isn't it a bumper Cromp?
Yeah, CROMP. Bumper Cromp.
Oh, it's Cromp. How about that?
Yes. But no, GC heavyweight title match. Nakajima defeats Kitamiya to retain the title. Which I thought thought this was a pretty good match. I think I was light on it compared to others. I just thought that this match, when you think of Nakajima and Kiyomiya, you think, of course, of the steel cage hair match.
Oh yeah,
which was great to watch.
Insane.
This match didn't live up to that. I don't know. What are your thoughts on this?
I thought this was great, but it helps. I think it helps if you do carry a lot of their backstory into it. Former tag team champions, former stablemates. When Masa was in Congo, and you just kind of follow their story from the Kensuke office to now. And they know each other very well. They're both two of the younger main eventers in Noah, because Noah's up there in age.
Yeah.
But they're two of the younger guys. They're two of the they're part of the base. And the way I looked at the match was Kitamiya went into it with a very basic but smart plan of taking down Nakajima, trying to cut down Nakajima, attacking his legs. Of course, he has the prison lock, but if you've ever watched a Katsuhiko Nakajima match, you know that he has maybe the most brutal kicks in professional wrestling. I'd probably confidently say he does.
Yeah.
And if you can try to, destroy him in that way, and his plan was going. There's a lot of early domination by Kitamiya that I really enjoyed. They went with a more methodical pace, which I thought was interesting.
Yeah.
Because I feel like that's not very Kitamiya. He's very energized, but he went this different pace because he's had many failures I thought the commentators had a very good, they gave the story to you as the match was going on of like why he's doing this and so on.
Mm-hmm.
And Kitamiya is not the biggest guy. He's not he's one of the strongest guys, but I liked the way they told the story. And he hit the Saito suplex. at one point, and towards the end, and I was like, "Oh my god, like, is this actually gonna like happen?" And I'm a big Nakajima fan, so I was like, "I don't really want this to end that quickly.
Yeah.
I don't want the reign to end." He has a lot more matches in him. You know, you got Fujita, you got Sugiura, you got probably another match with Shiozaki, you got probably another match with Kino. I'm definitely missing other people right now.
Muto, maybe.
Muto, of course. Marufuji, if you want to do that rematch. There's plenty of matches to still go through, which Fujita and Sugiura are definitely like the top two that he hasn't done yet. But anyways, I thought the ending was great. I thought it was very different from what you'd expect. You know, because in Puro main events, you'll have like these really great exchanges. This was very Nakajima wanted to murder. He wanted to murder Kitamiya. He starts slapping him as hard as he possibly can, you know, in open-handed slaps while he's just sitting on the ground. And then he hits the Northern Lights bomb a la Akira Hokuto. Yeah. Well, it's more of a vertical. It's more of a, what's the name of the move? Vertical drop, brainbuster. It's more brainbuster-ish, but you know, as the like child of Kensuke and Hokuto, we're gonna call it Northern Lights. Yeah. Anyways,
I like it.
That was a great match. I really enjoy Nakajima. I'm happy his reign's continuing because I think he has a lot more great matches left in this reign.
I was kind of lower on it. I wasn't.
You usually are.
I usually are. I'm still getting into Noah, and I think that's part of it. Is that I'm entering at a point where this story, this is a beat in a storyline that has already been happening, right? Yeah. I don't know. The more methodical, slower pace is what kind of took me out. It just felt like this match took a while to get really going, and I agree. The finish is where it got going, but it took a while to get there. I'm finding myself on the phone or whatnot. And maybe it's because I was listening to the Japanese commentary, not the English commentary, that it was harder for me to get into it. Which I think is what I need to do. I need to listen to the English to get more into Noah, to get me into
probably
that
the best. They're really good at breaking it down. Yeah.
And I think that's what I need as as someone trying to get into Noah. But yeah, once it got there. And I thought Kiyomiya Nakajima put on a tremendous finish of the match. It's just, it just felt to me that it took a while to get there. A lot of rest holds in the beginning that I was just like, all right, okay, here we go. Another rest hold. Did these guys face off in a steel cage blood feud? Okay, here we go. Another rest hold. Here we go. And I was just like, okay, I don't know. I don't know about this, guys. So I was just I was disappointed in that sense. I was expecting more out of it, and I didn't quite get it.
Yeah, I could see that. I think the way I went into it is like by the end of the opening 10 minutes, I was like, okay, so the clear plan was for Kitamiya to keep him grounded because he can't strike and whatnot. But I could totally see where you're coming from too.
Yeah.
But he's gonna fight
Fujita,
which is gonna be
I
awesome.
Can't wait. I'm like a secret Fujita lover. I love me some Fujita.
That is going to be hard hitting.
When I used to do the G1 and onlys, which trailed off because I was running out of time and didn't have enough time to do the show in my day. I near the end of it, I watched Fujita's run in the G1 climax, and I was like, boy, howdy, this guy's awesome. This guy is just a shoot fighter killer dude that's just going to does not care and just will kill you. And I cannot wait.
First time ever match.
Yeah. I mean, granted, Fujita's old at this point too, so there's also that aspect. But he can.
That man still hits hard.
Yeah, that man still hits hard, and he definitely moves. In my opinion, moves better than Muto. So I think he can keep up with his opponent better than Muto can. But I am very much excited for this.
I mean, they're just gonna chop and kick each other for a nice 2-minute stretch. and it's gonna make the match. Like,
Yeah.
you don't have to remember anything else. It's probably gonna be really good. I'll be very rattled if Nakajima doesn't win, though.
Yeah, I think Nakajima's gonna win. I'm not too scared about that. But yeah, I'm intrigued. I'm intrigued to see that. Let's answer some questions from the audience. Let's pull the folks. Let's open up the mailbag a little bit. This is coming from Twitter at CircleAnswer on Twitter. Who is a wrestler you can see succeeding in every wrestling promotion?
I'm assuming Lance meant now. Probably should have asked him, honestly. Probably should have been like, all time now. It's a great question, because this is actually a question, the way I've always looked at this question, maybe not, I've never looked at the promotion, but I've always looked at the idea of, decades, like who fits what, like, era. I've always, like, what wrestler fits every era.
Yeah.
So this is an interesting one to me, because fitting every promotion is very difficult. And really, to me, it's like fitting the US television, especially, and then fitting
there's US television
and Lucha Libre.
There's US television, and then also WWE.
Right. Yeah, so the WWE thing, I really think, is the part you need to play with here, because they are the hardest to fit into. I guess I'm not going to harp too much on the WWE stuff, because I think a talented wrestler like a Walter should be great in WWE. If they don't make him great, that's not my problem. That's not my problem.
Yes.
Walter's also a great choice.
He's a great pick for that choice. He's someone I could see succeeding in every promotion. I mean, to me, it's also a hard question, because I keep thinking of names of people. Like AJ Styles is a guy that can succeed in every wrestling promotion, because he has succeeded in every wrestling promotion.
Bryan Danielson. That's my choice. I think you put Bryan Danielson into any atmosphere and he is going to deliver. You put him in lucha wrestling, he's going to be great. You put him in Puro, he's going to be phenomenal. You
put him in Joshi.
Oh, fuck yeah. You put him in WWE.
Put Bryan Danielson in a high-speed title match.
And the cheat about Bryan Danielson is we already know how he can do in WWE.
Yeah.
So
I would also put Omega in that category. Yeah. I think Omega's that's also very obvious. I'm trying to think of people that are like free agent types, like the future of the wrestling biz. Like Walter's kind of good. He's not really a free agent, obviously, but I think
if I had to give a women's choice, Io Shirai. I think we've seen that. Io Shirai probably be my quick one. I mean, yeah. Io, because she does a little bit of everything. She can jump, she can fly through the air. And I'm thinking the WWE part again, like that's the toughest part, because like who's the best
it's also a question of who succeeds in WWE anymore.
Yeah, that's the toughest part.
If Killer Cross and Braun and if these guys don't succeed, right. I don't know.
Like Tony Storm failed. I don't know what they want in women now. That's also difficult. Like, I don't know. Mayu Iwatani should succeed literally everywhere. Does that mean that she would succeed in WWE?
I don't think she would. I don't think Mayu would.
No, I mean, they don't. WWE stinks when it comes to these things. So I'm going to go with Bryan Danielson as my overall choice. But if we want someone that's never actually stepped foot in WWE that could, Kenny Omega probably is a great choice as well. I think Kenny Omega would have been the guy had he signed there instead of the AEW stuff. He would have been main eventer right off the bat. He would have been great. His style would have been drawn down, but he still would have been great.
Yeah, and Kenny Omega, I think, is to me the obvious one. I think if he went to WWE instead of creating AEW, he would have, for lack of a better term, been phenomenal.
We've also seen Kenny Omega do everything besides WWE.
Yeah, and that's its own style of wrestling, sure. But I think, I mean, my concern with, well, my only concern with him succeeding to WWE is I can't see him folding into their system too much. Like, I feel like I can see
AJ Styles did.
Well, AJ Styles is AJ Styles. Kenny Omega is someone different. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like,
Kenny Omega's like a lot better. So
yeah.
yeah, I said that on the mic. I don't care.
I'm really trying to think of like,
Name the last great AJ Styles match. You can't. You can't.
did he wrestle at day one? Oh,
He wasn't good.
he wasn't.
If he
at day
did,
one. He wasn't at day one.
he hasn't had a great match in a very long time.
Let's look at his match guide. Let's get a cage match. Look at that guy's match guide.
Okay, you're gonna see a lot of TNA.
Yeah, that's true. I'm gonna see also a lot of New Japan.
Yeah,
I'm really struggling because I'm really trying to think of like a standout,
a non-super.
I'm trying to think of like an indie wrestler that I think can stand out anywhere.
Well, none of them. WWE doesn't want any of them, so that's tough.
Roxy. I think Roxy can stand out anywhere.
I think if you look at all women's promotions, Roxy's definitely a great choice, honestly.
I think Roxy can stand out anywhere, honestly.
It's a good shout.
AJ Styles had a great match with Daniel Bryan in 2020. It was 4 3/4. That's this top WWE match.
That was the Intercontinental Finals, the tournament finals. I thought that match was good. I don't know if I would say great.
Also, John Cena was also 3 1/4, but it was
okay. Well, that's a long time ago. That was my point.
2017.
Thank you for furthering my point here.
Well, your other point is that AJ Styles hasn't had a great match since 2000, 2020, which was 2 years ago at this point.
That still proves my point. Thank you. Appreciate it.
Someone on Twitch, Al Sweat. I can't say it. I can't see it exactly because
I don't see it at all. So I'm not even gonna try.
It's like not written as one thing. It's like chopped up like 3 letters at a time. They asked, what can you say about NXT 2.0's War Games? We covered NXT 2.0 War Games on a previous show. But now that we're a couple, weeks out from War Games and seeing the results permeate through NXT, what do you think? Do you think right calls? Do you think War Games help build up the career of Braun Breaker even more? What do you think?
I think the men's one accomplished the goal really well. Braun Breaker, star, our champion, Carmelo Hayes doing well. He was already champion, so that's he was doing fine anyways.
But now double champ, I guess. ... Question mark.
Yeah, I don't really know how that works. Grayson Waller
feuding
has somehow become important, very important.
Yep.
He just fought AJ Styles.
Yep. Sent Johnny Gargano to pasture and beat up.
Yeah,
and fought AJ Styles.
Tony D'Angelo's there. It's been. If we just look at that one match, it was an accomplishment. Pay-per-view was fine. Kyle O'Reilly's free, so yeah, worked out for me.
Women's War Games. Has Cora Jade become a bigger star coming out of War Games? And
I
don't know. I honestly don't. I think she's the same.
Yeah, I think they've hurt her value since then. Actually, they put her into the women's title match, which wasn't very good. She got pinned. She looked like an idiot and got pinned.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think that was a benefit. I don't think that was that beneficial. Io Shirai is just not even there. Kaylee Ray's not even there. Yeah, no.
Kaylee Ray is still beating up things with a baseball bat.
Yeah, aren't we all?
Yeah, so I don't know. I think it was, coming out of it. I think the men's one did something, but I also think Braun Breaker was already on that track. I don't think it changed anything.
Yeah, that's
true. I don't think War Games change anything for anybody. If anything, Grayson Waller.
It definitely changed something for Grayson Waller, because I remember when they put him in that match, I thought he was the add-on compared to Tony D'Angelo, and now he is on Raw already and wrestling AJ Styles.
Yeah.
So that definitely helped Grayson Waller.
Good for him. This is from @ADumbMillennial. We have 2 questions. We have 2.
Don't do the high school one.
What?
I already read it. Don't do it.
How many high schoolers do you think you can beat up at once?
I'm not answering
I said
that question.
any question, anything. I think sophomores easily.
You weren't supposed to answer this one.
I think
I'm not giving.
I
No,
think
I'm not giving
freshmen will
Xavier
be
the time of
tough.
day.
Freshmen you would think would be easy, but they got something to prove. And they want to impress people, so they're going to go out there with all they can. Sophomores don't care and think they'll be fine, so they're foolish. Juniors are tough. Seniors might be easy because they're sleep deprived, but they're also the oldest. So we asked the questions of we'll answer anything, so I'm answering anything. Add a
Well, how many? Did he say how many?
Yeah. I think I can beat up like 2 sophomores. I don't want to brag about it.
I'm not answering this question.
They write also on a lesser note, you get 6 people to build a company around. Doesn't matter who you pick and why. I'm gonna change it. I'm gonna change it slightly to make it easier because it's such a huge question. Free agents, current free agents, which is a lot. Which are a lot of free agents.
You dramatically just changed the question.
I know, but I'm trying to brain in the scope a little bit.
Well, I think either way it was gonna be hard because like somehow
there's a lot of free agents out there.
Well, yeah, this is true. Like non-free agents, you got to pick 6 wrestlers from the world to build one promotion under, which was difficult. But now I have to pick it from free agents. Where's that list? That list was very helpful. Because that just pretty much would be all of the ones I'd go off of. WWE free agent. That's not it. I just watched Micah eating food as a bear from Natsupoi, and I want to cry. Did you see that video?
No.
Well, now I'm gonna have to send it to you.
And you have to. You're required by law.
You're gonna have to live react.
I'm required by law.
I don't know where I'm supposed to find this list.
Okay, well.
Okay, I'm just gonna go based off the top of my head. I'm gonna do 3 men and 3 women. Make it fair. We'll do.
What about 2 men, 2 women, and a tag team?
I don't know if there's a free agent tag team I want on my roster.
Fair.
Shit. This is difficult, man. Because
I gotta write this down because I gotta remember who I'm picking in my head. Like who was like, okay, this person. Okay, no. I got picks from men. I think I'm gonna build my male division around Keith Lee and Shane Strickland.
Yeah, I mean those were the top 2 at the top of my head. I just
I would pick Keith Lee, Shane Strickland. That's my 2.
I found my list.
There
okay,
we go. I'll let you look that over. I'll let.
Shane... Go ahead. Is everyone from Ring of Honor free agent?
Right now, if we're building a promotion right now or signing people right now, I would consider that free agent.
Ready?
You're just gonna make Ring of Honor.
No, Keith Lee, Shane Strickland.
Well, now you're stealing my ideas, or this is our.
No, they were already my top 2.
Is this? Let this be our promotion. So what are we picking? What we have to come to a consensus here.
Okay, so I think those 2 are locks. I think Roxy as one of the women. I think that should be a lock. I think she's someone you build around. You know, she's 20 years old. She's kind of gives you that like future ace vibe of the women's division. Maybe a Toni Storm, perhaps.
I would. What about Toni Storm, Trish Adora?
Trish Adora's great.
What about Toni Storm, Trish Adora?
Well, that's why I didn't want to do the tag team. I just wanted to do 3 and 3.
Well,
like the only tag team I see on here is like the Briscoes, and I don't want them.
You don't want Hot Wheels?
Like I think no, I don't. No. I'm gonna go in my head. I'm taking 3 and 3. Okay. You can do the tag team if you want. Okay, cool. Keith Lee, Shane Strickland, Toni Storm, Trish Adora, Roxy. Those are my locks. Get 3 great women to build the division around, the future. You got Keith Lee and Shane Strickland, instant like main event style. And then
he broke. What happened?
Ooh, Dragon Lee. I love Dragon Lee.
It's pretty good. It's pretty good. Dragon Lee is pretty good.
If we're going based off just free agents, which is what Ryan decided for us, those are the.
It's still a lot of free agents, so I think it's fair.
Yeah. If I could do like, yeah, we'll go with that. If we were going, yeah.
I think Keith Lee, Shane Strickland, Tony Storm, Trish Adora. I think those are my 4 locks right off the bat.
If I could do free agents in Japan or like freelancers, that would change everything.
Oh, I mean, as long as there are free agents.
Okay, then I'm getting rid of.
Good luck.
Tony Storm. No.
Good luck. Good luck.
I'm gonna get rid of Roxy. Now I'm gonna get rid of Tony Storm, and I'm going to pick Asuka Veni from Japan.
That's a pretty good one.
Yeah, because freelance.
I'll do 3 and 3. I'll do Bandito. No, I won't do Bandito. I'll get Bandito out of here.
You want Dragon Lee? Don't lie. You're just trying to be different. You do want Dragon Lee.
On Ray Horus.
You can take Gresham.
I'll take Johnny Gargano. You son of a bitch.
There you go.
I think. You know what? I'll do my tag team. I'll do.
I was gonna say, why don't you just do a damn tag team?
Fucking. Oh no! I got it.
Jeff Hardy.
I got it. Settle down. I got it. I'll do Keith Lee, Shane Strickland, Tony Storm, Trish Adora, Alec Price. I really enjoy Alec Price. I think you can build a promotion around him.
Young man.
And I'll do another lady. I will do. Oh wait, no. God. Okay.
According to Cage Match, Kenta is a freelancer. So you know what? I'm just gonna take Kenta.
I'm gonna pick. I don't have another lady on hand, but I'm gonna pick Khan.
Oh, okay.
I'm gonna pick
interesting.
Khan.
It's a very interesting group you got there.
Yeah.
You passed on the Ring of Honor World Champion.
I'm thinking about people. Keith Lee is a world title guy. Shane can be world title guy. Both guys I think can be heels and faces. Khan and Alec Price are guys I can build a promotion around of. And then Tony Storm and Trish Adora is some 2 people I can build a women's promotion around of. I think.
Sure. All right. Now to try to fit Xavier's question, pick one wrestler, all of wrestling to build women's division around, one to build your men's. Your 2 like aces of your promotion. Any promotion. To add to what you have now.
On top of what I have now?
Yeah.
Okay. My ace.
Women's, ace. I'm taking Utami.
Any wrestler?
Yeah. That's the definition of like star power, future ace.
The problem, you know what's the problem with a lot of these questions?
They need a lot of thought, and
well,
we just went into them.
It's so open-ended that like, what if I just said Utami and Kenny Omega? You know what I mean? Like, if I have unlimited money and unlimited resources, then yeah.
Well, see, I took Utami. Well, I'm not going to take Kenny. He's older. Like, I would have to pick like. I have no idea.
I would pick. Here we go. I would pick Daniel Garcia.
I watched him break down his match on Twitter.
He's not your ace because of that.
He broke down his loss. If he's willing to break down his loss, I don't even want to know what he does when he wins.
And Candice LeRae.
I did not see that coming.
those are my 2 aces in my promotion.
Interesting. Big Candice LeRae fan is Ryan Neitzey.
Yeah.
Understandable.
My women's division is so far is Candice LeRae, Toni Storm, and Trish Adora. And my men's division is Daniel Garcia, Keith Lee, Shane Strickland, Alec Price,
Daniel Garcia
and
is your
Karn.
ace.
What?
Daniel Garcia is your ace.
I couldn't pick the people
wrestling.
I already had.
You had all of wrestling, right? To pick your ace. And you picked a young man who's very talented.
Look, man, it's a young promotion. I've got to start somewhere. That's what I mean. This question's impossible to answer.
It's a young promotion where you have Keith Lee. Yes.
How dare you? It's an
older one.
It's an impossible question because it's so broad.
Yeah, maybe we should just end the show and I don't answer my last one.
What do we have another question?
I think we're all done, but I didn't think of the men's one out of all of wrestling. I don't know. Who the hell do I like that when I watch wrestling anymore?
Just say Ray Horus and get on with it.
Don't ever say that. Don't you ever do that. Hook.
Yeah. Your ace? Your ace? You're making fun of me for picking a young kid and you pick Hook?
Well, Hook's a walking megastar, so come on now. He's the pillar destroyer, breaker, whatever the fuck he's called.
Okay, we'll see.
I don't know. I was just going through the thing. I was like, I don't know. I feel like
I don't know. Kazuchika Okada. Who cares?
I was gonna say Okada, but I was like, I don't want to be boring. He picked Daniel Garcia, so I gotta pick someone out of this world. So I picked Hook.
I'm gonna pick Bo Dallas, Curtis Axel. Yeah, what do you mean? I'm gonna pick Kazuchika Okada. Yeah, I'm gonna build a promotion. Kazuchika Okada, Roman Reigns, Kenny Omega, Brock Lesnar. I mean, what the fuck? Well, of course I'm gonna pick all these guys. With unlimited resources.
I probably only would have picked one of them.
What do you mean you would have picked one of them?
I would have went young, Ryan. Would have went young.
What the hell, man?
I picked Adam Hook, baby.
Adam Hook, baby.
I just read Adam Cole's name on my screen. So
that's it for Ring Post Radio. Let's get the frick out of here.
Yeah, what's your match of the week?
Ah, crap. I gotta look that up too.
All right, I'll go first. Mine's Eddie Kingston versus Gabriel Kidd.
Yeah,
that was awesome.
You wrote a nice little write-up on your was it Substack, Twitter? I don't know what that.
I have no idea what it is. Some Twitter thing. And I literally watched it. I was like, you know what? This was fucking great. I need to write about it. Eddie Kingston's awesome. Gabriel Kidd has been great since he's come back from his he was pretty much out all of 2021 due to travel reasons, I believe.
No.
Was he hurt?
No, mental health.
Oh, mental health. Okay, well, understandable.
Yeah,
but happy he's back. He's been great. Him and Eddie Kingston kicked ass. Yeah, that was fun.
Not a lot of great matches for me this week, or at least matches that have happened the past week. My favorite match I've saw all week was Magnum TA versus Tully, the steel cage match. That was the best match I watched all week. But for the past week, I'll go with Adam Cole versus Trent Beretta.
Absolutely broke my brain when I read that you were watching Magnum TA, and
it was a great match.
Tully.
It was a great match. What can I say? They had a solid, great match back in the 80s.
Solid, great match.
Yeah.
You can follow me at Scotty Wrestling and all that stuff. Goodbye.
You can follow me at Ryan Neitzey. You can follow the show at Count Up Pod. We'll be back with a bunch more topics in a better show next week. But if you want to do that, do so. Subscribe to the podcast anywhere you get podcasts. Leave a 5-star review on Apple Podcasts or Spotify. We would greatly appreciate it, folks. Again, you can follow us on Twitter at CountOutPod. That's the network that houses us. I feel like there was something else. Yeah. Count Out Scott. I mean, I can say buy a shirt, buy a Count Out merch shirt.
If they're not watching, then you look like an idiot.
If you're not watching, it's shirt has the logo. It's blue. It's not black, so you can't wear it in any wrestling event. But yeah, if you're going to Terminus, I'll be there. So say hello. I'll be the idiot, probably wearing my own merch. Maybe
I won't be. So goodbye.
Okay. Goodbye, everybody.